lanes that you can try and play around as well with the Leona on that set. Like, you're in a great spot here as Tarzan.
A lot of things to be able to set you up with. The Wukong as the final ball to stop the gold from racking against them and to get themselves into those mid to late game team fights where they should be able to have a little bit of an advantage. But seeing it's definitely what we would call a fringe pick as of late, but can still do a hell of a lot as BLG find themselves in the enemy red buff.
So BLG, it looks like they're trying to split the map. I actually kind of like this because if you're able to do so, it means that, look, yes, you can have Tarzan play up towards Ali in the top side, but BLG can play that relatively safe. But it opens up the likes of this Viego to put a heap of pressure down towards like Nawandi and constantly have pressure on towards Icon in the mid lane as well, who takes a heap of damage there.
Yeah, need to be careful. That Mantra Q from PP God going to do a hell of a lot, and they did it just before the minions arrived, so you know that he cannot go back. Ale now here, I think he's actually going to try and contest this one. This is very difficult to contest from LNG. They don't have a lot of poke, and they're just waiting, delaying everything. Everyone is still here. All 10 players are in this bottom quadrant of the map.
Yeah, you can see Icon trying to push in mid, so at least if LNG have to leave, which it looks like they might, they'll still get the advantage. But it looks like, as you can see, Zika, he's got to go and collect that mid wave or he's going to fall too far behind. So now you actually get to push BLG off of this bottom side. Weiwei's going to be super far behind, it is clear, and this play doesn't work from BLG.
Teleport now out of Zika, who has to go back. Does pick up the Sorcerer Shoes. Will be able to just stop the back and get the trains down as well. Viego is around. They need to be very careful here if you're the side of LNG. Zika trying to just trade this one as best he can. There goes the culling down on top of the LeBlanc, but not able to get any of that really going for him. And BLG is already behind the blue buff. They're going to flash in, flash forward, trying to find something here. But PP God is there to deflect any kind of recall damage. And that's going to be first blood over to BLG again.
You could look for, like, if he got ahead, how big of an impact he could have. He gets the roam down towards aiming and PP God, or they just set up for the kill.
They just straight up go in on top of him, and that is Icon dead to rights. No flash, no way out, and that's going to see Tarzan. He's actually on a ward, so they know exactly where he is. Zika going off to the side, though, to try and land the chains. Ale is here. I don't know if you want to go for this one, though, because you got Karma in the mid lane, and, of course, BLG from the top side roaming down. LNG slow again in this early game. This is not the composition, again, that wants to be falling this far behind.
Automatic prio with the Rift Herald, it makes it very easy to move down into that bottom side, and especially when you've got like Zika, who's got that teleport, who can make a lot of plays. BLG as well, actually the only person with the teleport available on the map. You can then look to play the map out.
Well, we'll see if they play the map out. Rift Herald did go down in favor of BLG, but important to notice there is a Gale Force for the side of the Lucian. As they jump in, Iwandi trying to see if he can catch out Weiwei. Now with everything kind of down and out, they need to try and back themselves away. You can see the Cyclone used by BLG. Flashed in, doesn't really get much more purchase from it, and that's a big team fighting tool not available for this potential dragon fight.
And even just the ability for Ezreal to arcane shift away.
Well, Rift Herald now spawned with this next minion wave popping itself in, as we see Iwandi just menacing the Zenith Blade. But BLG is onto the backside. So will this Rift Herald charge get enough of it down? They go in straight away. They do get the showstopper, and that's PP God dead again. BLG cannot get into this fight. Iwandi gonna go golden as they get the nice solar flare down. Weiwei is next to follow. Again and again, I have to call him out. PP God just in the wrong position, and LNG capitalize on it.
Yeah, the flash forward from Ale was really good. The biggest issue there was that BLG were trying to, you know, jump the gun in that way just yet.
Yeah, but LNG are just kind of letting this wave go down. They know they can't leave just yet. Tarzan takes a huge chunk. Weiwei gets jumped on by Iwandi, but Iwandi now in a lot of trouble. He's forced to flash away. Now you can see the jungle and support so low. Ale on the backside. There's the culling to try and keep everyone away. Solar Flare just a delay. Good showstopper to start it off, though, and that could be a good fight here for LNG. They lose the Leona, but they gain the Karma and the Viego with the 3v3 coming into this fight. But look at the damage here from the Ezreal. The Divine Sunder is just doing too damn much. It's a double on top of it for a double for Ezreal, and that's going to be 5 for 2. It almost looked like a great engage from Ale, but they're just too far behind. the BLG, and we could be seeing a third game if they're able to close this one out. You can see the Qs coming out, just able to do so much onto Light. Light is on 3 items, however, so you do have to respect that. But for BLG, they can just push around either side, and they'll say that now. We can see Bubu getting caught out, all 5 people committing to him. He's going to buy a little bit of time with that stopwatch, but will end up falling. They will lose mid lane tier 3 and the inhibitor, but now the fight can happen after this. Icon and Tarzan are very, very low. I don't think you're going to be able to take the kills, but you're probably going to be able to take the base anyway.
Yeah, it looks like you'll at least get this bot turret, but I don't think you'll be able to get the inhibitor. You do get a lot here for BLG, although as I say that, they might be looking for more.
Ale goes in and gets himself a nice little bit of damage, and Weiwei just dies. Yes, they get the turret, but they lose another one. Another little bit of gold, another little bit of an advantage here for LNG. They're just picking away at this Baron buff, but you can see aiming. No one can touch him right now, and with Zika in tow, there's just nowhere for them to go, and they get the inhibitor. Anyway, he goes in aggressively, has got a cleanse, but no flash for him. The redemption going to come down. Zika coming back in off the distortion. Now PP God has to get himself and the rest of his team away. Very aggressive from aiming, but calculated enough to know that he wouldn't die.
And you've even got the Ezreal there to try and help finish him off. Not quite able to connect, but still, like, that's how dangerous this composition now is, as this last inhibitor turret, it's not long for the world.
Nope, not with a Ezreal picking away at it. We can see here now LNG, they don't really have any great engage apart from Set, and he's already used his flash, so you don't really have any guaranteed way of getting it on top of this. It's going to be all 3 inhibitors down now for the side of LNG, and what can BLG do about it? What can BLG do to try and just end this game? They're just taking it the nice slow way, pushing in all the waves, making sure they have as much of an advantage and try to pick someone off.
There is literally nothing that you can do here as LNG, unless you get some wild misstep from BLG, but they're taking this so calmly.
Oh, Zika did have a little bit of a misstep. There is the showstopper as we can see them going in. Massive shield there for Ale, but he is just not tanky enough. Tarzan tries to go in, goes golden, and you can see Icon putting down as much damage as possible. There's the parallel convergence to keep him alive. But there's just no more for you in the tank. There's just nothing you can do. BLG going to be able to take game 2. BLG going to be able to send us to a third game as the TP from Zika from base going to be able to solidify this one pretty damn easily. It was slow, it was methodical, it was a little bit Resident Sleeper, but nevertheless, as I say that, aiming in a little bit of trouble. Never mind, I'd lied to you all. He's not in trouble at all. Icon trying to be the savior for his team. There's just so much you can do here with this composition to keep yourself alive, and there's just nowhere for you to go. LNG lose game 2, BLG take us to game 3.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see there how difficult it is to deal with this BLG lineup when they get ahead. It was a slow game, it took a while to get rolling, but in the end BLG are able to take the victory off of some phenomenal performances from that AD carry in Amy.